Cancer, welcome to your mid-April 2017 tarot update. It's Raina here. As you can see, I've already laid out the cards because I was interrupted and I had to start all over again, so I don't have to edit, with the two different files and processing. It just everything takes longer that way. So it's just easier to do this over again. I'd only gotten a few minutes into it. And before I begin, I just wanted to tell you that there's going to be a new moon in Taurus happening on the 26th of April. And this is going to be in your 11th house of hopes and wishes. From what I understand, the 11th house is the luckiest house. And this is a time to really set your intentions for the things that you want to accomplish, your dreams, your goals. And likewise, this could be a time when you make new friends, where you join a new group. So it can be a very social time. You can add to your social network, in other words. And as I look at this spread, the focal point, the card that's the overall theme, is the Seven of Pentacles. And I was noting in the first version of this that I've been picking this card several times, and I'm wondering why that is. The number 7 is a solitary number. It can be a turning point, but in terms of how you are feeling or what you are doing, it's more of a spiritual thing. And with Pentacles, I would say that it's probably, for some of you, your own business that you are nurturing. Now, it may be in the realm of thoughts right now. Maybe you haven't gotten to this point where you have really reaped the benefits. This is the Farmer card, so this is the card that deals with waiting for the harvest. In general, this tends to mean that the person has started the process. Maybe they have, whatever their endeavor is, they've taken the initial steps, and they have to have patience because work is still needed, and they, have not reaped the harvest yet, but there are signs that it's going to be abundant because the leaves represent that. But I would even hasten to add that for some of you, you may be considering your own business. Maybe it hasn't even gone to the stage of you doing anything about it. Maybe you've only been researching. But this is a card that talks about patience. And I would say that in most cases, it's probably where you've put in some effort in the work of it and making it happen. It certainly is possible that this could be in relationship to working for somebody else, where you have just started at a company and maybe you're even chomping at the bit to move up, and it's saying, assess your progress, but be patient about advancing. In personal relationships, it could be talking about dealing with somebody who is of the earth element, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. But I do feel like some of these are career situations because we do get the Queen of Wands in reverse as the past position. So this is what makes me think that you were inspired to leave a place of employment where you may have had a superior who is like the female boss from hell. This is the female principle that deals with everything aggressively negative about a woman. And so a bitchy temperament, somebody who is never satisfied, who, very critical, someone who's very demanding. In personal relationships, this could be a female. It's funny because the queen is a female energy, but the wands are fiery masculine energy. So it is a woman. If it's a literal woman, she has a lot of aggressive qualities anyway. So I typically see Leo, but it could be, or maybe even Aries, but it could also be Sagittarius. And kind of that diva mentality where she wants to be the center of everyone's universe, and it's all about her. In some cases, this could be your actual mother, or if you're married, your mother-in-law from hell. That is, it's all about her, even though let's say you just had a child, or let's say you just got married, she still manages to make it about her. Maybe she's interfering, smothering behavior. Cancer, have you ever been smothering to anyone? Because this could be a facet of you. You're a feminine sign, but this is the feminine principle gone amok. It is an aggressive energy, so it's more of the combative energies that are associated with women that are imbalanced. If I had picked the Queen of Cups in reverse, it would be more of the emotional games that are being played. This is more controlling. The fire element is ambitious and controlling and competitive. So that aggressive, trying to, impose your will on somebody else. I would say if you're a man and in the past you had a woman who was like that, now you're kind of perhaps not interested in that. Maybe you were patient with that person and they still continue to wreak havoc on your life in some way. It's interesting because what comes in now is the Knight of Cups. So this is a card that's associated with a younger man. I would extend this all the way up to 40, who is possibly a water sign or has a strong imprint of water in their charts. So they have a artistic nature, a gentle nature, maybe a melancholy or overly emotional nature. I consider it like a James. What's his name? I was going to say James Brown. I didn't mean James Brown. I mean James Taylor. Like a James Taylor vibe, the singer-songwriter, the gentle artist, and definitely not James Brown. Somebody who's poetic and very romantic. This could be like the perfect man. Now, I just thought of something. Maybe you had a moment, all you female Cancers, maybe you had a bit of a moment where you were acting like that woman. Because maybe you were in a relationship with someone, maybe you were in a relationship with somebody who was kind of a tire kicker, somebody who was trying to, being overly cautious and saying, well, I don't know if, our relationship is really going anywhere, but they kept stringing you along for God knows how long, and you finally lost it. And now you have somebody who's more your speed because it's another water element. So this person could be a Pisces, a Scorpio, or a fellow Cancer individual. So that could be possible in your love life. The Knight of Cups can be an offer. So as I say, I do feel that some people may maybe secretly you started your own business because you're dealing with some sort of superior who is abusing their authority, and you want to get out of there, but by the same token, you're not ready yet. You may get an offer. Maybe you get an offer somewhere else. We are in a Mercury retrograde in most of April, from the 9th onwards. So yeah, at the time of this reading, it will be full on Mercury retrograde. So you might be reconsidering things, and it might not be, everything is, might be up in the air while this is happening. The retrograde lasts until May 3rd. So it is going to be the first week in May that things start to settle down. The higher message in all of this, whatever is going on, is the World card. So this might be the end of an era. This is the last card of the major arcana. This is a card connected with victory, though, with winning. It's in the upright position. And why is it winning? Well, it's winning because you're a student of life and you're experiencing things, and it's not about the actual things that happen in your life, it's the way you handle them. If you were getting a divorce, this card could still be a positive one, and saying, you know what, you made it, you did it. You were meant to be with this person for a season. You were meant to have children with this person. Maybe in some cases it has nothing to do with children, but you were meant to cross paths with another person for a season, and you were meant to then go apart, and you did it with grace, and now it's time for a new chapter in your life. And the same thing with a work cycle. That could indicate underneath the Seven of Pentacles that you are ending maybe a job, and maybe that Seven of Pentacles gig will be your full-time gig. You know, it all depends on your particular situation. The thing that crosses you is the King of Pentacles. So we got the Queen of Wands in reverse, and this is going to be read as a reverse card too. So this is a businessman who is really clueless. So, you know, you might be working for a husband-wife team, and they're both problematic in their own way. Now, this guy, he may be very materialistic. He may be all about the money, and he's not about doing a good job. He may cut corners in his business, and you may feel that he's not reputable, that he's like very sketchy, shoddy. And the female is very controlling and domineering, and also someone, tyrannical. Someone who tries to intimidate other people with their moods, or, well, it would be more of their aggression. And yes, I'm seeing it as the male and female principle. Whether or not it is, this is a general reading, but I'm just saying the King of Pentacles in reverse is someone who is not a good businessman or person. There's somebody who they assign too much importance to money and not enough on service, and they may not do a good job, and they may not pay you. Maybe they cheat you out of money. And maybe that's the last straw. Maybe it's like you have a supervisor who is a female who is very, narcissistic, but then on top of that, the total owner of the business is dishonest as well. So that's like the straw that breaks the camel's back, so to speak. In your private life, you may be dealing with, in some cases, you may be dealing with your parents or your in-laws, and they're both problematic in their own ways. The father-in-law may be somebody who may be an earth sign. It could also be the father of your child. And they are somebody who is very materialistic. So because of this, they may be very greedy, and they may be opportunists. They may be looking for ways to always make it about money. And in terms of how they're affecting you, they could be affecting you in different ways. You know, the Queen of Wands could be affecting your power chakra, where you feel like, you know, this person is really imposing their will on you. And this King of Pentacles can be a situation, maybe they are trying to use money to manipulate you, to get you to do something. Like, let's say you and your partner live with your in-laws, and you and your spouse, and they are throwing the fact that they are allowing you to live there rent-free in your face to try to get you to do different things. I mean, there's a million different possibilities. But I think it's interesting that I'm getting 2 kings and a queen in this reading, because the kings and queens can refer to authority figures. So these can be people in your world that are above you, so to speak. So your parents can be the kings and queens, or your spouse's parents, or a potential spouse's parents. Maybe you're meeting them for the first time. Maybe you're engaged to somebody and you're trying to navigate their family for the first time, and it's very challenging. It's interesting because Cancer is the sign that rules the 4th house of home and family. So out of any of the signs, you'd think that Cancers would do very well with family members. But anyone of any sign can have a family or maybe in-laws that create problems for them. And being too interfering is such a common one. Or the financial thing, saying, oh yeah, you can live with us. You know, maybe you have a young child and you want to save money, so maybe you're paying rent, but you're not paying the market rate or what have you, and they're using this or lording it over you, knowing that you're dependent on them. If you're in a situation like that, you have to ask yourself the cost-benefit ratio. You know, sometimes people think, wow, I'm going to cut my rent, but you're gaining a lot of headaches and loss of freedom. So sometimes you might have to maybe you have to give up space so that you can afford your own place and, you know, be able to live life on your own terms. What is coming in is the King of Cups. This could be an individual. A lot of times the court cards represent actual people. So this would be an older man who is very sensitive and caring. Sometimes this can be a counselor. So let's say you're having family problems. You might visit a counselor to talk to him about, or maybe a priest, it can be somebody in the clergy, talk to them about what's going on and how to deal with it, especially if it's family matters. It could be a boss at work who's very compassionate. Maybe it's not your boss, maybe it's another superior at the company. Maybe it's a human resources person who understands your dilemma. You can tell them your story so that you can keep your job. So, you know, in case you want to stay there and you don't want to have to quit because of these people, you can stay there and maybe get transferred to a different department, or maybe the people that are working there will have reprimands or what have you. Maybe they are abusing their authority. But this person understands you. So they're going to have your back. In your private life, this could be meeting somebody. And again, this could be like that person too. Maybe the person's being romantic, but you find out that this person is actually a very mature person. It would be a water sign or somebody who is a very emotionally sensitive person. Again, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. And they are, you know, they're very caring, but they're in control of their emotions. They're not somebody who is at the whim of their emotions, or they don't use emotional manipulation to get what they want, because they have that ability to they feel good about themselves. They have good self-esteem. They respect other people. They don't try to gain one over on other people. So that's really good. And the outcome is the Death card. This is associated with Scorpio. So if this water sign is a Scorpio, that might be just kind of giving a confirmation. But this could be the ending, as we see right next to the World card, of a certain thing that is not really of your making. So you may be trapped, you feel, in this job where you're dealing with these crazy superiors, supervisors, and maybe you get laid off by somebody else. It has nothing to do with them. Maybe they get laid off. The situation will go away of its own accord. Maybe this doesn't mean you lose your job, but maybe the complexion of your office changes dramatically. And this could also be talking about transition in life. Perhaps there is somebody in your life, either a parent or an in-law that has been under the weather. Maybe that's what this, like a father or father-in-law, and maybe that's talking about this person's end of life. Now, I think that it would have been something that has been going on for a long time, if that's the case. So I don't think this is anything, it wouldn't be anything sudden, but it could be talking about, it usually is not talking about physical death, however. It's usually a death of the person's perception of their situation, or their actual situation changes beyond their ability to control it. And it can be, to me, it's like a kinder and gentler Tower card, because it's like inevitable change, but it's something being phased out that's not necessarily a big shock, but it may have been something that you tried to hold on to way past what you should have. And so the best thing in those situations to do is just to let life take its course, because you're obviously going through a certain phase in your life, and you are going to have your solar return coming up in a couple of months. So, you're going to be starting a whole new cycle anyway. And the next couple of months are like the summing up of the last cycle. So, kind of like that Seven of Pentacles, about to reap the harvest, So, anyway, Cancer, very interesting. I hope you enjoyed this. If you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. Otherwise, have a great rest of April. Bye.